Hello,
Hey,
Gali.
hey,
Hi,
how's
Mami.
it going, Abale?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good, and I'm super happy we're back with a live again.
Yeah.
We're on a roll every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, no fail.
Every Tuesday. Yes, no fail,
Despite the
exactly.
looting, despite the mess in South Africa, we still
Ex- We're still here, even with the mess outside, which
yes.
actually is what I want to talk about today. But just before, let's just make sure that we're all live. I want to see that technically we're all set up and
Okay.
shared and everything.
Hi, Carmela. Nice to see you.
Hello, hello. Okay, let's see.
So,
So
are we on which
Facebook,
social?
I
On
see
Instagram?
YouTube, I got a notification. Let me see if Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. Okay, perfect. Great. Okay,
Wow.
we're
All
good to
good.
go. We're all
Okay.
good.
Alan Avi.
Okay. Hi, Avi. Okie dokie. So the subject for today, and basically, I had a totally different topic in mind, but there's some big current events happening, and I thought that it would be worth talking about.
Okay.
And the idea or the situation is in South Africa, there's major riots and looting and problems, and fear is spreading, and everybody's talking about bad news. And generally, I don't, even on here, it's not, the idea is not to promote the bad news, but it's a current event and everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Now, just to set it up a little bit more, I saw another video that somebody was saying, look, before every change, every positive change, there's a lot of problems and winter and before spring there's winter, so this is actually part of a good process. And anyway, I see all kinds of opinions and ideas on what's going on. It's not just South Africa. Obviously there was rioting in the US, rioting everywhere, England, you name it, there was issues. So that's the topic, the
Okay.
general fear in the population. And I want to kind of dig into what's going on from your eyes.
Okay. So when there is a mess, and you see things that are really, really clear. You see, this is the guy that's responsible for A, and this is why B is happening. The first stable datum to know is that what seems to be the source of the problem is not the problem. Someone is lying to you big time.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, because if someone creating, let's take Bill Gates, okay? So Bill
Yeah.
Gates is the target for the vaccine, and he's bad, he's bad, he's bad. If Bill Gates was the target, the real person behind it, no one will know about it.
So you think there's people in the shadows that are hidden?
Always, the real why is always hidden. Because otherwise, if that was the problem will be handled just by knowing the real source of the problem.
Yeah, true.
Just by knowing the real source of the problem gets solved. So the first thing to know, the stable point, the thing to compare anything to is if something seems to be A, if a source of a problem seems to be A, and A do not improve the problem, just you knowing that this is the source of the problem, it does not improve the problem, you need to know that you don't know. And that's a lot to know. So someone
Yeah.
was talking to me today about is the vaccine good or bad, and do I believe in a conspiracy or theory, or do I believe the other side? And I said, I'll tell you what I know. Both sides are lying. Why? Because if there's so much conflicting data, obviously we're talking to two stupid sides. Because
I
if
see.
one side was right, but really know what's going on, it would be handled. So the real source is hidden. So if a problem do not get solved, you're trying to solve the wrong problem. You are being someone making sure that you put your attention on the wrong side, so you will not see the right side.
Yeah.
Actually taking your attention away from the source of the problem. Once that's there, once you really get that as a principle, that someone that's doing something bad, he's hiding. How does he hide? By taking your attention to a different place. Once your attention go to a different place, the real source of the problem is secure. Are you with me?
Yes, I see. Yeah, I'm with you. So 100% with you. That's very true, very powerful, very true. Hard to see, of course. That's the whole point. People don't see that. They think that they have all the information, they have all the facts. It's obviously right in front of you. How don't you see it? Whether it's the vaccines or the rioting or whatever it might be. So I get it, but then people say, okay, but I don't know what the issue is. I don't see the issue. I don't know the real source.
Good. So now, once you've got that, and you don't fall into the trap of getting your attention going into the wrong place, the next thing you need to look is what principles you can align the data with. Okay?
Okay.
So what do I mean? What principle I can align the data with? Let's take the writing.
Yeah.
So
align the data with. Okay.
Okay. So let's take the writing in South Africa. Okay. So the writing in South Africa, the excuse is that the previous president went to jail, and his supporters are against that, and they now protesting that. And the way that they protest is by destroying things, and by stealing, and by looting, and by doing all kind of crazy things. Okay. So what's the stable data? Okay. When you see a mob operating, you need to know for sure that the mob operate only on lies, because intelligent people operate individually. When you move as a mob, not as an organized team, but as a mob, what's the difference between a team and a mob? A team have a very specific pro-survival target that they are going towards, and they're doing it with minimum destruction and maximum construction. When you see a mob that go to an undefined target with maximum destruction and minimum construction, you need to know that you're looking at insanity. Now, for
100%.
for that to happen, you need to understand that what you see have no explanation, because it's not logical. So if you try to find logic in something that is not logical, you yourself become illogical. There is no why. It's insanity. It is number of people that has been misled by the media or by whatever, but by someone. They've been misled, and now they are operating like ships. They just like totally crazy. They have no self-determinism. The only thing that they have is, oh, well, let's destroy. Because they're not going towards construction, they were going towards destruction. And when a person decide that he's going to destroy another person or another group or another something, that decision, regardless how it gets justified, it's always insane. If I decide that I'm going to stop a group that tried to stop me, but again with minimum destruction, just enough to stop them so I can actually go and help them.
Interesting. Yes, I see. And of course, that's the pro-survival way. Yes. Yeah. And I also for everyone joining, let's actually end here, and then I'll reorient back to what we're talking about. So we have Ava that said, yes, indeed, very interesting. It is very, very interesting. And Ahmed said, hello, Meir and Gal, nice to see you. Great topic for discussion. Thank you. And Yannick, hello. All good question. Thank you. And then with the detox dudes, they said this is called the red herring in mystery novel. Yes. Yep. And Marcel, love to you both. Love to you, Marcel.
Love you.
And hello, guys from JJ, 100% love you, Meir and Gali. Mwah, love you back. Facebook user, hello. And yes, and Eva said, hello, guys. And for the topic can be chaos in paradise. Yes, so the topic. Exactly. So the whole topic here is, look, there is right now total rioting and craziness in South Africa, but it's not unique just to South Africa. There was rioting in the US and rioting in the Middle East, and all kinds of rioting has been going on. So the topic is that in general, perspective on it and kind of what to do. Okay. And whatever you're seeing, it's being guided, right? Misled.
Yeah. Basically, the first thing to know is it's been misguided. That what you see is not the truth. Number two, when a group get pushed into rioting, you need to know that there has been years and years and years of calculated destruction of the mind. People in a good state of mind, people, educated people that can realize, that can be moral, which means able to see right from wrong and act from that viewpoint, do not riot. They don't do that. Educated people may go and protest, but they will do it with the intention of construction, of getting better, not destroying unrelated people, just going into a shopping mall and just burning the shopping mall. It's not what people that are educated, that are pro-survival doing. And people, to get people to that position, you need to make them, to hold them poor for a long time. You really need to make them poor for a long time. It's part of the formula. You have to hold the person poor for a long time, prevent him from being educated, and so he will have such a low ability to have that his only way in life is to destroy.
Interesting. Yes.
You will see that societies, any society, that the majority of the population kept suppressed by not letting them prosper, and by number one, they're held poor, and number two, uneducated, they will be in a position that they will never win in anything, because any action that they will do will go towards destruction.
And I see. So even when they try, sorry, go ahead.
It's totally counterintuitive, because you will expect from a normal person to go towards construction actions, but they actually work toward destruction. Their actual purpose is destruction. Oh, and we lost Gali. So we will wait for Gal to join. He will be back within a second. And let me see the comments. Oh, here he is. He's coming in. Give me a second. I heard him joining, but I don't see him yet. Here we go. Here is Gali.
Hi, Gali. Hi, sorry, lost you there.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on. You were saying.
So I was saying that basically this is a created situation. The society kept suppressed. Because of that, surprisingly for normal people, is that the actual intention is to destroy. And because no one can think that someone wants to actually destroy, it's so counterintuitive to a normal person. The handling is, it doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? And there's like a total, I don't understand what's going on. It's very simple. They have been held uneducated. They have been held suppressed. It's almost not their fault. It's not their fault what they're doing. It has been created.
Interesting. So basically, I mean, we can even see it in a small, not small, it's pretty big, but you can see it in a way with what happened with COVID. Just 1 year, let alone a lifetime that some people are going through. We can see that in Africa, but 1 year of COVID where people are held suppressed and oppressed state for a year, they start to, So some of these people have had that for, I mean, we see in Africa lifetimes of that.
Yeah, and you will see that any nation that don't improve, if you will actually check what happened, that society is kept by the minority suppressed, which means unable to prosper. They're preventing them from prospering and preventing them from having good education. And as a result, they have to become criminals. They just flip. You take a person that's basically good, that wants to do good thing, and his only way to create good things for himself is to steal. Because you prevent from him anything. He cannot make money. He cannot survive. So what can he do? He can be a criminal. And then the people that make him a criminal take him to court and judging him and putting him in jail, which makes him even worse criminal. Now he's an educated criminal. And the dwindling spirals continue. So for me, as a person that see that thing, I don't blame the mob. I don't see the mob as the problem. The problem is the government that for years, in an actual intention to control the mob, to control the people and turn them into a mob, because they say if they will be educated, probably they will not vote for us.
Right.
So in South Africa, you take a whole population of that came out of an apartheid. Many people, black, white, colored, all had the effect of apartheid. Of course, the blacks and the other people in South Africa had it worse. So they come from major oppression. They have a government that come and say, okay, good, we're going to fix it. And of course, there's a lot of hope. And the intention initially with Mandela was good. And things have started to improve. But who took office? Who took office? People that used to be suppressed. So they now in office. And what you have someone like the past president that basically stole a lot of money. You have in every area of the country, you can see the government stealing. So you don't have proper electricity. You have a problem with water. You have a problem with almost every part of the infrastructure.
True. And it's horrible in South Africa.
Yeah, if you just understand that it's actually been created, you can do something about it, because you will not attack those people. Yes, you will stop them, like you will use force temporarily to stop them, but using force, it's only good temporarily. You really have to realize the handling is education. The handling is really taking one person at a time and educating. You say, but me, the story is that one person that set up a good example, will affect at least 100,000 people.
Wow, how is that?
Because the expansion is unbelievable. So I affect the people that I know. Okay, so let's say I affect, let's say I'm just a normal person, not connected to too many people. Let's say I affect 50 people. Okay,
yeah.
Each one of them is 50, so it's 50 in the power of 50. Yes. Now you start to grow and you grow and you grow, and the growth is so fast that one person affecting 50 people eventually affect the whole universe. Now, if you have 500 people doing it, it's just the speed of expansion, but you need to set up a good example. Most people don't set up a good example. They say, well, since I see that they are so bad, I will tell them that they are bad, and I will attack them, and I want to put them in jail, and they need to suffer, and wonderful. You put everyone in jail, and they will suffer, but you did not help.
Yeah, no improvement.
No improvement. The general viewpoint of society is if a person doing something bad, he needs to suffer. And that Fine, it's good satisfaction for 15 seconds or for 15 minutes. But what you create is an endless problem. So yes,
Right.
go to jail. But the purpose is not to suffer. Go to jail with the purpose of rehabilitating you. And as far as I'm concerned, 2 weeks later, if you've been rehabilitated, you should be out.
Yes.
Regardless of what you've done. If you actually made up the damage, if you actually somehow managed to fix what you've done, and you need to find a way to fix what you've done, you should be out.
Yeah, and you did that. You worked with jails, some of the worst jails, and you helped them with these programs to rehabilitate the criminals. You did that.
Yeah, I've done it in Israel, and we released 5,000 criminals. And from 5,000 criminals, 1 in 5 years came back to jail.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So
unbelievable.
it can be done, but the viewpoint, the people that are listening now, if just those people, I don't know how many people we have right now on the call, but if just those people that are listening to this interview will change just themselves and stop this urge to revenge and understand that those people that are acting criminally actually been created by the real criminal that never got to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Those real criminals never got to jail. You get the idea? The real criminals, the people in the power of seats that actually suppress the people and destroy them, never actually got to jail. And so you put more and more and more and more people in jail, and the problem don't get resolved because you don't handle the source of the problem. The source of the problem is not the criminals in the street. The source of the problem is the criminals that create criminals. Those are the people that need to be handled. And for the normal criminal, what you need to do, you need to just understand that they have been suppressed to such a degree that yes, they need to be handled right now, stopped. But if you want any improvement in your society, you need to find ways to help them, not to punish them. I've seen in Israel, there was this lady that was handling children, and she hit them and did all kind of things to those children. Terrible, like very bad, yes? And she should actually get rehabilitated, yes? But the parents of the children didn't want her to get rehabilitated. They wanted her to suffer until her last day. Let's say that she will suffer until her last day. Did we create any improvement? How will she affect all the people around her? Well, if the purpose is to punish, if the purpose is to cause the other person to punish, what happens is you yourself get destroyed, the punisher, more than the person that you punish, because now you cannot set up good example because you've done something really bad. You destroyed another person. Right. And you have justification because he destroyed my son, he destroyed my child first, blah, blah, blah. I wanted revenge. Wonderful. You get revenge, but you yourself get destroyed.
That's amazing. That's
another person. The only person that actually get punished is you because you destroy yourself. You lose the good in you.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, you don't create future. So you actually contribute to the creation of the next criminal.
Wow, that's an amazing and super different way of looking at it, but I totally see the truth in that. That's the pro-survival approach, and the impulse is to do the exact opposite. Yeah, that's what you see around you. Everyone wants to do the opposite.
Kill the bastard and with as much pain as possible. That's the viewpoint. And I understand the urge. And it's okay for 15 seconds. But if after a minute or two you don't recover from that urge, you need to know that the bottom line, what you do, you destroy.
Yes. Amazing. Wow. Okay, got it. So now that's fantastic. And I want to ask, so wait, actually, maybe before I ask, I see a lot of comments and I think that they deserve to be read. So Marcel said amazing, and Carmela powerful, yes, and JJ, because they are suppers, and smat. I didn't fully understand that, JJ. Gilly said amazing. And then at the top, we have MVP, most valuable players you two are. Thank you. Thank you. World, listen up. And Eva said this would be real justice. Amazing. Yes. And then that's all I can see so far. But I think Yannick had a question earlier, which we've answered. And I saw another question earlier that somebody asked. I think Ahmed said, so are those people, are they failures or are they losers? These people that are mobbing and all that, would they be a failure or a loser? Because we spoke about that on one of the lives.
Yeah. What there will be, those people are really just machines. They've been suppressed to such a degree that the actual spirit is not there, is left. And you can see these guys go to church, go to synagogue, go to mosque, and they tell you, yes, I'm going every Sunday. And if you're Jewish, you go Friday as well. So and they go, and the next thing that happened, they go out of the mosque or out of the church or out of the synagogue, and they do the worst thing in the universe because the spirit is not there. So the rabbi or the pastor or do not talk to the spirit. He talks to something totally different, to a total machine, an automatic machine that has very little, almost zero self-determinism.
Wow.
Almost zero self-determinism. And our job, the people that are, it's not that we are so perfect, we are just not so bad. It's not that we are good. Our job, the not so bad guys, our job is not to push them even more, because that's what created the problem. What created the problem? The suppression. Now our job, the people that also been suppressed but somehow managed to survive, is not to suppress them, not to jail them, not to put justice on them, not to use force on them, to understand them, to understand that they are under tremendous amount of pressure, that if me and you were there, I'm not sure we would survive. If I would put you in the life of the average guy that live in one of those townships, I promise you, I don't know any one of my friends that will survive it. And my friend, well, but we will not get to that. Think again. Think again. Yes. Because I've seen situations that turn around and countries that go crazy, and things can happen. So before people become so critical, I would say, yes, it's not good. It needs to stop, blah, blah, blah. But the only way to handle it, not just to stop it right now, because to stop it right now, just take an F-16, put just bomb the whole thing and everyone will die and wonderful, and you handle it. They're coming back. You didn't handle anything.
Right.
It doesn't work. It's proven in the past that just force do not work. It works temporarily. For sure, it can work temporarily, but not long term. It doesn't solve problem long term. Force do not solve problem long term. And it's just injustice.
Wow, 100%. That's amazing and beautiful and super powerful. And my last question, I think, for this live stream would be, at the beginning I mentioned that somebody I saw talking about it had said, look, it's actually part of the process of, reaching spring. Like, we're going through tough times, we're going through a rebuild. It's part of a process. Have hope, be there for the people, because on the other side of it, you have to have winter for there to be spring. What would you say to that?
I would ask him how else did he justify it. So, but it's nonsense, because if the people that creating it are insane, okay, and they're going to create a major revolution, and by the end of the revolution, what do we get? What happened with the Arab Spring? What happened with all the revolutions? Insane people habitually select insane leaders. Yeah. So you need to rehabilitate the person, not just create another fight, not just create another revolution, because the black in South Africa threw away the apartheid. Apartheid was very bad. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Do you think that the condition improved? No, I would argue that it got worsened.
Really? How? Why would you say that?
Why? Because they select the wrong people. They took, before that there was no hope. At least I knew I'm in deep hole and I knew where I am. Now someone promised me hope, but actually pushing me down into the pit. Now I'm not saying that the apartheid should stay, not at all. I'm not saying, of course, it's the right thing, but it's not an improvement. It's not really an improvement.
I mean, well, let me ask you this, so about that, because I understand for sure that what you're basically saying is that there's a big covert suppression, whereas before, at least the suppression was pretty overt. But now it's covert and squeezing you down without you knowing. The one benefit, though, is you don't see the racism. You know, white and black kids are learning that you're all, I mean.
How does it help me? How does it help the average guy that live in these townships? After 25 years, why they are in townships? There's so much money in South Africa, such a rich country. If you take 10% of what they stole, each person there will get education. I don't mind about other place. Education and then other place. If I was the person that come and say, look, I'm going to give each one of you 3 homes. One condition, you need to get education and you need to produce consistently for 2 years. I don't mind what you do. Be a street sweeper, be a pilot, be something. I'll teach you. The government will teach you.
Mm-hmm.
That will be something if I want to actually create an educated nation. If I don't want to create an educated nation and say the whites are bad and the yellows are bad and the colors are bad and some of the blacks are bad and the Americans are bad and the Jewish are bad and the this are bad, and I will find all kind of people to fight, and that's take the attention off, but no one actually helping me. I'm fighting them, the government telling me fight them, so I will not realize that, once again, no one helping me.
Yeah.
No one actually taking me after so many years of apartheid. The government should come and say, look, we demand that you will improve.
Yeah.
And only that kind of government I would support. The government should come and say, look, I demand that you improve. How do I demand it? Not by force. I'm going to give you such benefits. So at least your children will improve. Even if you cannot, okay? Let's say you are too old, you are set, there's no way you'll move. Okay, not a problem. Your children. I want to make sure that your children get educated, and I will pay for everything. They will get educated, and only if they will get educated, you will get something as the father and the mother. And they will get as well. And that's all of a sudden, the money will go to something pro-survival. And that's it. If you take the money that has been stolen, just the money that's known has been stolen.
Right, the known amount.
It's just the known amount. And you know what? Just the money, the known amount money that has been stolen in the last 5 years. Never mind.
Just the amount that's been stolen in the last year during COVID.
Yeah. If you take just this money that has been stolen by the South African authorities, and it's not everyone, by the way. There's many good people that actually trying to handle it, yes? So don't get the impression that it's everyone. It's not. I'm not saying. But if you take the money that has been stolen and divide it between only the people in the townships, just those people, and not give it to them as a handout and make them into criminals, but pay them for production, pay them for telling them, look, this is what's going to happen. You're going to study, This is the reward in 2 years. Show me that you do that. And really explain to them. And really get them to understand. And do it in such a way that anyone can do it. Don't tell them, if you become a doctor in the last 3 years. No.
Right.
I want you just to get a stable job. I want you to make sure that there's no problem with the police. I want you to make sure that you are nice to your wife. basic things. Find out those basic things. Give the local churches the authority to define who is fine, who is not, and if not, even if they're not, you're not punishing them. You give them another chance. The chance never goes away.
That's
you don't
amazing.
say, well, you didn't do that for 2 years. You had your chance. You messed it up. You are a loser, blah, blah. No. As many times as you want. You can restart anytime.
Yeah, but we just need that consistency for 2 years, and you get the
2 years production, and you get a house, an actual house, an actual home.
That would be amazing. I mean, and honestly, it's doable. It's not like the money is the issue. Yeah,
it's not. It's doable, and if someone would read, but it needs to have the intention of helping the people, and not the intention that no one believes of keeping them suppressed and stupid.
Yes, got
because
you. So that's what's really
suppressed and stupid, and it's not stupid. Do not mean someone that unable to think, not intelligent. Stupid means someone that is not operating right now based on the data. How do I make a person stupid? And I can make any clever person stupid by taking his attention from what he should look at. It's something that he shouldn't look at, and making him argue about that. Let's argue about COVID, yes, COVID, no. Wonderful. The actual question is not COVID. The actual question is, 1 second, are you going to live or are you going to die here? That's the question. And living is not preventing death by, I don't want to die from COVID.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I see Marcel here said mayor for president. I totally agree. And JJ said, I love what you're saying, mayor. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Super. I can totally see that as a solution. And I can totally see that that's the cause.
Yeah.
And
it's really, it's so unbelievable. The truth is so unbelievable. In Israel, there's all kind of problem with terrorist attack, this terrorists, and then the Israelis attacking the Arabs, and and everyone is right, and no. This whole thing can be solved in 2.5 seconds if the governments in both sides would want to solve it. Why? Because the Israeli government, all they have to do is to make it illegal to promote any terrorist attacks. Terrorists cannot be terrorists if it's secret.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? If it doesn't create terror. If I have a bus exploded and no one knows about it other than the 500 people that somehow got aware of it, or 1,000 people. From a whole country, 1,000 people knows about it, and it's illegal to talk about it, to post it in social media, If you do, you go to jail for 25,000 years. Something like that.
Yeah.
Where is the terror? There's no terror. So the terrorism is finished, okay? Good. So if there's no terror, why you cannot make peace?
Mm-hmm.
So one-sided can solve this problem. On the other hand, from the other side, if they decide, you know what, Israel, you think that we are such a terrorist, we agree. No terror anymore, nothing. You've got 1 year. Show me a country. 1 year, no terror, no nothing. What do you want? You want us to say that you are a legitimate country, Israel, that you have a right? We said it, not a problem. Show me a country.
What do you mean, show me a country? What do you mean?
Give me a country. The Palestinians want a country. Give me the country. I want a country.
Yes.
But Israel would say, no, we need to protect us, protect against who? We gave you all the weapons. We gave you everything. What do you want?
Yeah.
Protect against who? I don't have even bullets. What do you want?
Yeah.
So the solution is always a solution of the problem. It takes two to create the problem. It takes one to solve it. And if it doesn't get solved, both sides want the problem. It's not one side want the problem. Both sides want the problem. And they will blame each other, etc. But they're just taking your attention away from the actual sources. Of course, me as the president of the country, I need that problem because I have an enemy, so no one sees that I'm messing up. So Netanyahu need war, because when there is war, no one look at his stealing or whatever he's done, yes? And on the other side, they have the same thing. They're stealing money, they're doing the same thing. They keep the society suppressed as well.
Right.
So the people need to be smart and realize that when someone tell you this is bad, he's bad, he's bad, he's bad, if it seems to be one way, but the problem do not get solved, whoever tell you what the source of the problem is a big liar. Pinocchio will be nice next to him.
Yeah. Wow. That makes sense. And I love that solution. I mean, you say that it's super simple, but I can see that really it is that simple. It doesn't have to be anything too complicated. And the proof is that the whole complicated situation and answers and all that haven't solved the issue. So maybe it's not the way. Yeah.
For sure, it's not the way.
Yes, for sure. So just before we go, in the meantime, people want, the average person that's sitting at home watching the news is like, oh my God, getting even more hopeless, even more like, oh my God, my country is falling apart. What do you suggest for them?
So for a person to improve, he needs to raise his level of ability to observe. He needs to stop being a robot, stop being directed. He must be able to not go to YouTube, see someone that says, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm in this, and I'm in this, and because I'm saying that there's a conspiracy A, or I'm an official person, and because I'm an official person, there's a conspiracy B. You need to be able to spot truth, which is, by the way, the definition of clever. You need to become clever, the ability to recognize truth. Now, why you don't recognize truth? The only reason a person do not recognize truth because he's doing things that he consider are not okay. Mm-hmm. So now this is really, really fascinating what happened. And maybe I will explain it in like 2 seconds, yes? Sure. Let me just show it in 2 seconds. I will just share my screen here, okay?
Okay,
because this is really something super fascinating, okay?
Great.
So here is the screen. Okay. So it goes like that. If this is you, okay, every time you do something that you consider is not okay, what you do, you put some kind of a block, and that block is put there in order for other people not to see it. So you're blocking their ability to see, yes?
Yes.
And then you do another thing that is not okay, and you put another block around you, and another thing, and another thing, and another thing, and another thing. And you do many things that are not okay, and you don't want people to see them, yes? You hide it, yes? You just do things that you think is not okay.
Right.
Now, what happened is that you managed to hide it. No one knows. And you do all those things that no one knows. There's no way that they will know. And the problem is not that you know. The problem is that this block that you put prevent you from seeing, because those blocks prevent you from seeing. And if you cannot see the dollars here, or if you cannot see the love here, if you cannot see the real source of the problem, you will always do the wrong thing. Because in order to do something right, you need the data.
Yeah, you need to see it.
You need to see it, yes. And what you do, you block your ability to see. So you need to find a way to remove those blocks. And if you remove those blocks, what you will discover that just right next to you, there's endless amount of love, endless amount of money, endless amount of opportunities that you just never saw. And you need to learn how to do that. And actually, I think you know that there is the Fear to Freedom.
Yeah.
It's a series of lectures that I've done. That the introduction, I think it's about 6 seminars. I've made them this is so important that I made those things that was probably $9,000. I made them cost a lot. $990.
$9.
Yeah,
$10. Wow.
Yeah, $10.
Why? For what? Six lessons?
I think it's about 6 lessons, yes. I don't remember exactly. 5 or 6. 6 lessons, $10. And this thing will give you the basic. It will not teach you the whole thing, but it will give you the basic. And I really suggest that the first thing you do, even if you've done it in the past, the Fear to Freedom, do the intro to the fear to freedom again, it will calm down. It will really calm down everything, and it will allow you to see the actual truth, what actually happened. This is what I really suggest. This is something that for me, this is my contribution to help you do those things. $10 anyone can do. If you cannot spend the $10, write to me privately. I'll organize it for you for free. So this is how important it is. Yes. So
yeah, wow.
You need to do that. You need to do that. Do those 6 classes, and you'll see your life will change. Totally, 100%.
That's awesome.
That's
a great gift and a great solution. And I mean, $10, and it's so fitting because everybody is in fear right now. If they're not in fear about the riots outside their door, they're in fear about the situation around the world with COVID, and everybody needs that.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's really the real vaccine that you need.
Yeah, I like that.
And I'm sure there will be some conspiracy theories around that.
Yeah, how dare you say it's a vaccine? Yeah. But it's the real vaccine. I love that.
Yeah, the vaccine. Yes, it's not.
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
This is really what you need.
Not medical advice.
Yeah, it's not a medical advice. It's just you really something that will help you for real.
Amazing. Wow, that's powerful. This whole thing has been super powerful. And thank you, and thank you for everybody that tuned in and that was on the chat. So great having you guys tuned in. And every Tuesday, same time, same place, we're going to be doing this. So feel free to join us.
Next week?
Next week, there's 2 options. Either we'll have a guest on. I'm working on that to have a guest and they'll bring a question. But the other thing I kind of want to talk about is the whole subject of manifestation. It's like the biggest buzzword right now. You need to manifest. And I really want to dig into understanding that. I think that'll be the subject for next week.
Okay, I love it. Manifestation.
Yes.
Okay,
manifestation.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fear to freedom. Amazing. Thank you.
If that's what we're going to talk about, only if you're willing to really, because manifestation is how to become more effective quickly.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I knew that you'd have a totally different take on that because, we need to talk about it.
Okay.
I love you, Abba. Toda. Thank you.
I love you. I love you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Yes.
See you next week. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.